All right, let's talk about Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert. Is there anybody in the chat that doesn't know who Teyana Taylor is? Anybody here? If you don't know who Teyana Taylor is here, let me know. Please let me know, because I'm still trying to gauge the kind of topics. And no, let me be honest. I'm just curious, okay? I'm going to keep covering American stuff, okay? More American stuff, because that's one thing, that's one value we can bring to the Nigerian community and all this kind of stuff, okay? Including the American community, okay? I'll continue to do both, okay? But I want to know, if you're here, say 1 in the chat if you know who Teyana Taylor is, and say 2 in the chat if you don't know who Teyana Taylor is, okay? Say 1 in the chat if you know who Teyana Taylor is. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat for me really quickly. Everybody, please do that for me. All 5 of you. All right? Let me just gauge something really fast. 1. Okay, I see 1. Okay. 1. Okay. All right. So most of us here know. It sounds like we know who Teyana Taylor is. All right. Good. All right. So Teyana Taylor is a young lady. Okay. That came up as a dancer. You know. It's an American singer, songwriter, actress. She's also an actress, actually. You know. But I'm not sure what she's most known for. I think it's more of a dancer, okay? But she goes as far back as 2006, you know, because she choreographed a music video for Beyonce. But she's a whole superstar in her own right. And she also had a reality TV show with the husband, all right? Now, she's not one of those situations that I would say was obvious. No, it wasn't obvious, which is even a real reason why I have to cover this, okay? Because majority of the situations out there are not going to be obvious when they end up in divorce. They're going to be like, oh, I didn't see that coming. You just hear one of your friends is already divorced, you didn't see it coming, because they showed up so well, even as a couple, and you didn't see it coming. I mean, you probably can tell that there's a disconnect, and it's typically, most of the time, not social media news, just in life in general, most of the time is going to be situations that nobody thought will end up like that, right? It's not DV situation. It's not the extremes that we tend to see that go viral for the most part on the internet. A lot of the people with the talking points are mostly speaking to the talking point. They're speaking to the most viral stuff. People talk about boundaries, they talk about domestic violence, they talk about all this extreme stuff, narcissism and all this kind of stuff. They are speaking from a standpoint or projecting their own life that it must be so terrible like that, right? And feelings are powerful like that. Feelings are very powerful. They can make you feel like things are bigger than what they actually are, or the other way around, but usually bigger, right? So it's something that we have to be, that's the whole point of self-awareness. That's the whole point of emotional intelligence, social intelligence, right? That's the whole point of that, and power intelligence. We want you to be able to look at yourself, look at your situation and say, well, is it really that bad? And sometimes it can be that bad, and you have to say, it's that bad, but being able to pause for a second and ask that question, is it that bad, will empower you, right? Rather than just flying off the handle and just doing anyhow, which is what a lot of people do, even before it gets that bad. So even if it's not bad, you can't really tell, but the results become bad because people attract what they fear the most. All right, so she's one of those persons that I looked at and said, okay, she's kind of like a loudmouth, talk like very sassy, but down to earth, right? Wanted to be a wife, wanted to be a mother. She became a mother, I don't know how many times now. I know at least once, right? But also wanted to be a star because she is a star, right? Wanted to be a star because she is a star. And sadly, you know, this situation has ended up really badly. This young man, I don't really pay attention to him. I think he plays sport. I'm not sure because I don't watch sports. So, but let me just go ahead and read this. That's just a little bit I know about them, right? But this title on TMZ.com says, Teyana Taylor secretly filed to divorce Iman. He's a jealous narcissist. Okay. Now, Teyana Taylor came out some few hours ago, said she did not make those statements, but those are, let me take you back. She didn't say she didn't say that she did not make. She didn't say that she did not make the statement. She said she didn't make any public statement. That these were in documents that they were sealed at the court, but they leaked. Okay, that's what she said earlier on, a few hours today. Chinye says Teyana makes a lot of sense to me as well. Okay, he's an NBA player and his career is winding down. Yeah, so, and you know how that goes, right? That's going to put the relationship at test, especially if you're not self-aware, especially if you're not secure in yourself, right? Secure yourself does not mean finances. Okay, it can be a lot more difficult when the finances are being tested, right? It's a little bit easier to quote unquote claim you're secure in yourself when you're financially strong, right? But yeah, but Patrick said too. Don't worry, I'm bringing you up to speed now, Brother Patrick. So it's she's a songwriter, singer, superstar, and he's a basketball player. Okay. So I'm just gonna read this statement. So she came out and said she did not make this public statement, but they were statements and they were leaked from document according to her. Okay. In fact, what she said precisely is this. This is a statement she made that was posted by Shade Room 2 hours ago. She said, "I mind my business." That's what she said. "I mind my business. Don't bother nobody. And y'all know I've never played about my children, family, and our privacy. I have not spoken on this private matter to any media outlets or blogs, etc." So everyone claiming Teyana said didn't get any statement directly from me. She didn't say they didn't get it indirectly. She said directly from me. Did you pick that up? All right, good. These statements were taken from private court documents that were leaked to the public. It is very heartbreaking that someone would take out the time to make such a private matter public for the world to see. Well, this is media, and people's livelihood is part of media. Media was created partly to make life equal for everyone, to make life fair for everyone. So when you're a public figure, this is just how it works. Sorry, you should know that, Teyana. Anyway, however, protecting my family is one thing I've always done, and for my children, I will continue to do so. Please, if y'all play nieces, Junie and Rue, okay, so she got two, like y'all have shown, please allow myself and my family some privacy to resolve this matter in peace. Love y'all. Okay, so that's what she said. Okay. All right. So now, according to this is the original from 2 days ago on TMZ. Teyana Taylor secretly filed to divorce Iman. He's a jealous narcissist. That's what the title says. So I'm going to read. Teyana's lawyer, Tanya Mitchell Graham, released a statement regarding the divorce saying Ms. Taylor has tried to resolve this matter amicably and privately in order to protect all parties involved, particularly the parties' minor children. And I quote, Ms. Taylor requests that the parties' privacy be respected such that the parties and their minor children are not negatively impacted and the parties' divorce can be finalized. Iman's lawyer, Stephen C. Steele, tells TMZ Mr. Shumpert hopes parties and counsel can work toward a fair resolution, keeping the best interest of the children of paramount concern. All right, nice PR statements. Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert are getting divorced. She secretly moved to end their marriage nearly a year ago and claims he's been a jealous narcissist during their 7-year marriage. 7 years. Yeah, that's sad. It's just sad. According to new legal documents, I mean, they were just right there. If you go past that 7 and just cross the 10, I don't know. Fantasies. All right. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Just wanted to show you this. Yep. That's a picture on TMZ. So let's see here. According to new legal documents obtained by TMZ, Teyana filed to divorce the former NBA star way back in January, more than 8 months before they announced the separation. So they more than 8 months later, right? And did you know that separation, I think only, that's a percentage, I can't recall right now, but I think it's only 83%. No, sorry, only 17% of people that separate actually make it back together. Now that's a scary stat if you're considering separation, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't go through it. It just means you should be separating with an intention to actually do the work. It's true that sometimes you have to back off of each other to be able to see clear, have some clarity on what you're dealing with. But you need to be aware of that stat. 17% will actually make it. So the odds are against you, but not if you do the work, right? If you do the work and you understand that the grass is not necessarily greener on the other side. If you see any ounce, any level of change, somebody is actually interested in changing, right? If you see anything, there are 3 people missing likes. If you can please hit that like button if you're missing the like. Thank you. Right? If you see that, then you just be willing to work on it, right? But again, only you can decide that. I'm just saying you should be aware of the stats. Only 17% makes it through. And it looks like Will Smith and Jada are going to be one of the 17% after 7 years. Anyway, let me continue reading. In the docs, Teyana details the demise of their marriage, accusing Iman of being jealous about her fame and feeling insecure about being good enough for her, despite the fact he was earning way more playing basketball than she could ever dream of making in music. Teyana claims Iman would grow annoyed when they would attend public events together, and photographers would ask for him to step out of frame. He would just be annoyed. Now, the real question, was he annoyed because it's like, nah, we gotta go? Or was he annoyed because he was jealous? Right? I don't know. Right? The only thing that Teyana can talk about is her experience. She felt that he was jealous. And gentlemen, you need to be aware that even if that's not your intention, you can be received. The way you act can be received as jealousy. That's not fair. Well, welcome to the real world. Right? Welcome to the real world, right? But what can you do with that, right? If somebody is receiving you as jealous, right, and that's not your intention, well, you have information. What are you going to do with that information? There's a discombobulation between the information you have now, your intentions, and how the person's experience. Your intentions can oftentimes be completely discombobulated. Why am I using that word? Disconnected from the actual experience that is being received on the other end. Just be aware of that and work around that. Learn how to navigate that. And don't take it so personally. Well, you will, but have some self-control and just see it for what it is, right? Intentions, the experience that the other person is having. And a lot of marriages go through this. That wasn't my intentions. And then that becomes an argument. No, you intended, you're a liar. You know, you did it, you did it. Are you able to say, well, I'm sorry you received it that way. That wasn't my intentions. After you say that once, do you feel a need to shalaye with extra gaslighting coming around it? Are you able to slow down and just listen without feeling like you've been defeated? Or without feeling like, well, I don't get to say anything. Can you be that patient? All of that will be tested, right? And you're right. Maybe you don't have much to lose. Maybe you don't feel the need to protect that family like in that manner. Maybe you don't feel like it's a family worth protecting or keeping together anymore. I don't know. But these are the things that, as a grown man, you would assess, right? But you're also having your own experience. So what about my own experience? I understand. Betty, what are you going to do with this information? It's completely up to you. Those are the cards you're dealt. What are you going to do with that information? You don't get to run away from this. This is actively your problem. Also her problems, yes. Right? Okay, she should lead. Okay, good. If that's sustainable for you, wait for her to lead. Is it doable? Yes. Is it sustainable? I don't think so. Our social construct is not set up that way. Right? It might happen one time, a second time, but on an ongoing basis, you want to be able to show up as a leader, and sometimes that makes you take one for the team. Well, that's just one. I know. Again, what is it worth to you, right? So let me continue. She says when Iman signed a $40 million contract with the NBA's Cleveland Cavaliers in 2015, the same year he was also paid $8 million by the New York Knicks, he remained aggravated by her notoriety. So this wasn't even about money. He was making money, but he was aggravated about her notoriety, jealous of her acting career, and insecure about being her man. Well, if this has been going on for 15 years, a quote-unquote modern woman, it just will start to not make sense to them. It's not making sense. Okay, they have options. Okay, they have options. But that's illusion of options. They don't really have options. Listen, as was right now in this moment, your wife feels like she has options. Okay, if you are right, if you happen to be right, that they are not real options. Okay, if you happen to be right.
Well, you're right.
By the time we figure that out, your family is broken apart. Okay? And I will leave that to you to hold whoever you want to hold accountable, responsible for that, because it's your family. I'll let you figure that out. But I'm just showing you the reality, right? By the time you figure out that you're right, because I know you're right. You're experienced too, right? By the time you figure that out, you get to determine if I did the right thing. Then I will agree with you too. Okay, but I just want you to pay attention to all those nuances there, right? Now, he remained aggravated by the notoriety, jealous of her acting career, and insecure about being her man. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Teyana wanted to keep this private as long as possible, initially choosing to file with their initials. However, Iman's recent filing in the divorce proceedings included full names, thus trusting everything into the spotlight. So she was using initials, and then it's like, nah, man, I'm going to let's just tell the whole world. You're angry? Okay, let's just remember, women will multiply for you. They will multiply what you bring to the table, right? What do you bring to the table? Just bring something, I'll multiply for you. Ladies, don't say that though. That's anti-seductive. Teyana claims that that's when Iman started sending her negative text messages with condescending. She filed for divorce, right? And she expected nice text messages. Listen, most of these men are not built that way. They're not built like our fathers, okay? All right, like, you want to get dirty? Well, I'm gonna get dirty too, right? Teyana claims that's when Iman started sending her negative text messages with condescending and manipulative language in response to her being in the spotlight. She claims he would pick fights with her for no reason, even on her birthday, and then apologize. Yeah, I've been there. I've been that guy, to be honest with you. You don't necessarily intend to pick fights. That's not the intention. But when you find yourself in this funky place and you lose control emotionally, you just start saying all kind of stuff. And yes, effectively you're being manipulative. How? Because there's something you're looking for, but you're going about it the wrong way. She's clearly on her way out, and you're like, further and further away. Okay? And if you're not as lucky, you will lose your family. Okay? In the docs which Teyana filed in Georgia, she says she now feels Iman was treating her cruelly and displaying extreme narcissistic behavior throughout the majority of their marriage. She says she began to intentionally dim her light for her husband to try to have a harmonious and peaceful marriage as Iman became more and more angry about her stardom. If a woman has to do that, no, forget that she has to do that, because I know you're about to argue with me. I never made her feel like she has to do that. Listen to me. It doesn't have to be your fault. It's actually your fault. Let me just say it. Okay. Let me say it like this. If a woman feels like she has to dim her light, remember she's supposed to multiply everything, but she's now feeling like she has to dim her light. It's not sustainable. Is that physics enough for you? Logic, people? It's not if she generally blossoms if she's happy, right? Naturally, she wants to be happy too, right? But she's now feeling she has some kind of light around her, and that she's a rock star and people appreciate her, they celebrate her. She's a celebrity, right? And she now has to add additional energy. She feels like, it's not your fault, Motigbo, but she feels like she has to dim those lights. It's not sustainable. You cannot cover fire with wrapper. It's not going to work, okay? It's not going to work, right? You're just going to destroy it. That's all you're going to do, directly or indirectly. It's not your fault. It's your fault indirectly. Whatever you want to call it. This is your life. So maybe that wasn't your intentions, but somehow the way you're moving, somehow the dynamics of your relationship, not your fault, granted, has made her feel like she has to dim her light, right? Shout out to all the panderers who are saying women that are saying that, right? When you enter a situation and you feel like somebody is like, you have to cover lights down, right? It's not sustainable. Ultimately, you're always going to look for someone who will make you feel safe and secure. Subconsciously. Okay? You don't have to admit to that. It's just the way it works. You're going to be looking for that. It's not sustainable. So it makes sense so far. I don't know what happened in there, but from what I'm reading, why she might be trying to run away. Okay? What's more, Teyana says she turned down recording opportunities and acting gigs because Iman did not want her to work. Who knows? Maybe he had schedule clash and it was like, babe, we can't do that right now. Well, I have to go there, and she started to I don't know if she's lying. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that if there's any ounce of truth to this, she will run. That's effectively what's going to happen. And that's what's happening. Okay? But she says when she stopped working after giving birth to one of their kids, Iman complained about her not making money. Really? The money was drying up? What happened to the $15 million and the $8 million? Teyana says she fought to keep their family together despite Iman being extremely emotionally and mentally abusive toward her. Usually, that's both of them doing that to each other, by the way. Usually, I don't know, but usually it's fire for fight. That's the way it plays out, okay? It's just that men don't interpret emotional and mental abuse. They don't until it's too late, okay? Like, so she says she used her connections to get her Iman gigs in Hollywood as his NBA career wound down, but says he unfortunately insisted on bickering to the point where in 2021 she began the divorce process in 2021. Now, here's the thing. A lot of our narration is also laced with emotions, naturally so. This is an emotional experience, okay? It's just what it is. She says they reconciled, but it was short-lived because Iman remained in an insecure state as his NBA career continued to wind down. Ouch. Yeah. He wouldn't know. If he did not have proper counsel around him, he simply would not know what to do with himself. Okay? He just wouldn't know. And asking a woman to continue to support that emotionally, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, I can't judge. Everybody's threshold is different, right? And you never know how little emotional experience people have, that they will start hearing voices in their head, that they'll start having panic attacks. That's BS. You're just trying to make it what it is. See? You see how stupid that sounds? Because again, that's not you. It's the other person. Right? Teyana says in 2022, she found herself being manipulated and controlled by Iman and filed for divorce, only to ask her legal team to withdraw the filing one day later, because it's never, they just want to come and take all the money. It's never that simple. A lot of time, people will go back and forth. when they file this divorce. They go back and forth mentally, emotionally for a long time before they pull the trigger. When they pull the trigger, they still go back and forth. Okay? Just letting you know. That's how the human mind works. Logically speaking. Teyana says she finally pulled the trigger in January because she was unable to handle the emotional roller coaster. All right. So yeah, this man probably just couldn't do what he couldn't do. He couldn't help himself, you know. And it's not one of the lucky ones. Okay. But all of this, just do you. Just do you. What works for everyone is different. It's a lie. Okay? We can trace this backwards and we can learn some things and you don't have to repeat the same problems. That's a lie. We have a lot more in common than we like to admit. Okay? Maria says, I think this couple admitted to threesomes as well. Wahala. Hey!
Hey! Aye me ba me.
I don't know. Listen, I'm willing to bet that there are many couples that have engaged in such behavior and still made it through. But, you know, there's many layers, right, to this, right? But this one additional layer cannot help, okay? I don't think it can help. This is that makes sense. That makes sense that they probably did something stupid like that. Probably with a stripper too. Resentments everywhere. Hey. Yeah. Let me see. She claims the man has been involved in multiple cheating scandals. Speaking of, during their marriage, and cites his DUI arrest and recalls the time in 2022 when he was arrested for weed possession in an airport. Teyana also alleges Iman once crashed a Rolls Royce and fled the scene to avoid a second DUI arrest. That's reckless. That's reckless behavior. Teyana says she tried to stay with Iman through thick and thin, but says he reacted with further cruel treatment and selfishness. He probably said, why can't you just like rock with me? I rock with you, yo. Why can't you just rock with me, man? Like, we have a little problem, you're running away. Listen, you never know when enough is enough for some people. You can one brain. You just never know. After she secretly filed for divorce, she says Iman insisted on them getting back together, only to be lackadaisical and inconsistent. Yes. So the best form of apology is change behavior, right? But you need to be consistent. Okay? You need to be consistent. If you're not consistent, it destroys trust even further. Okay? Because you're literally directly destroying trust. Like if you're going to change, right, and you're doing back and forth, you're destroying there's already a problem with trust, right? And you're destroying it further. But trust is not, it's a symptom. If you're consistent, people don't really have a choice, especially women don't have a choice than to trust you because you're replacing the bad experiences in the past with new experiences. So really the solution to trust issues is to be consistent, show up all the time. And you know, people will generally look to the past with rose gold color lens if they feel safe. Now they start looking at all the good times and the new experiences, and that will eventually replace the traumatic effect of whatever went wrong in the past. But, you know, if you don't know what you don't know, lack of skills, lack of game is a bastard. You're not intentional. You're like, oh, please just come back to me. And then you come back and then you do it. Yeah, it just gets worse. Right? So she said, inconsistent and become involved in another cheating scandal, which she says was embarrassing and humiliating. Yeah, that would do it. That would do it right there. That would do it. That's the issue with a lot of these people. A lot of people, as a matter of fact, it's nothing peculiar about them. A lot of people are going through the same issues. They don't realize how these small things And they might get into a place later on and just feel like, well, it wasn't that bad. Well, to you, it wasn't that bad. You're having a whole different human experience. The person, quote unquote, on the receiving end of it, enough might be enough for them much earlier than you think. It is what it is. And especially as a man, you need to be aware of that. You need to be okay with that. That's called repercussion. It's called being able to own your own, do your time. If you commit the crime, you do your time. Sometimes even without doing the time, as a man, as a leader, even without doing the crime, you do the time. Welcome to the real world. It's not fair. You're right. You were there for her doing her own. Yeah, I know. Everybody's different. Everyone is different. As we reported, this is according to TMZ, Teyana announced their separation in September and said, to be 1000% clear, infidelity ain't one of the reasons for her departure. Well, she lied. She lied. All right. Now, infidelity is a symptom. Okay. It doesn't mean you're at fault or you caused it. It just means when people are not secure in themselves, they will participate in bad behavior. Okay. And sometimes it looks very nasty. Sometimes it's normalized by even women themselves. Okay. Now, she says was just being graceful towards him. She was just being graceful at that time and lying at the same time. Teyana says Iman left their family home in October and hasn't spent significant time with their 2 children since then. Well, if he's acting single out there because he's dealing with his personal issues and listen, men run around the internet talking about they're fighting for custody. It's a lie. It's a lie for the most part. Most men, they don't want that custody like that.
Why the fuck you lying?
They might want it just to get back at you. They might run their mouth on the internet just to get back at modern women, but it's a lie. It's a lie.
Apa, you lie. Sabi lie.
It's a lie. It's a lie. Most men just want to be a man. They want to support, protect, provide for a woman who protects the children. And, but bad behavior can get in the way of all of that and destroy that. It's just what it is, My job on this page is to bring gossip, Marriott. You're doing well, Marriott. You get that right. Men don't usually interpret emotional and mental abuse until it's too late. Yes, but men go through them. Yep, exactly. Until it's too late. Iman might regret everything later if she's trying so hard to hold on and you turn around and cheat at that time. It's sure not going to help. Nah, it's not going to help. It's going to destroy the trust. The small trust you built that made her say, yeah, maybe not even a real trust. Maybe you can make it work. This was my best friend. You shoot all of that in the head for every time you do any kind of inconsistent behavior, even if you don't mean to. Like, for example, a lot of men participate in manipulative and controlling behavior without necessarily being the intention. Does that mean you should help them? No, they need to seek help. They need to talk to a coach, talk to a counselor, okay? Because there are tools in place to help them. Plus, when you learn this and you master this game, it actually becomes a skill for you in other aspects of life too. All right? So, but when you say there's no need for a game, you should just do it naturally, just do you. I can help you, right? But the result will continue to do what it does, or what it do. Anyway, so Teyana lied to protect him. Women do that all the time. Women will lie to their own family members to protect their significant other because it's embarrassing for them to admit. Especially when you have how many millions of monitoring spirit on the internet? She probably has at least 6-7 million monitoring spirit on the internet. Let's check it out, shall we? Let's see how many monitoring spirit she has on Instagram alone. Let's see. Oh, my bad. I was wrong. She has 17.3 million monitoring spirit. Can you imagine how embarrassing all of this would be to both of them? Okay. But that's what happens when you have bad behavior, when you're drunk, when you can't. All right, I don't know what she's going to show me next. She'll be showing all this cocoa and stuff. Let me just leave that page. Let's leave that page alone, shall we? let's leave that page alone. Let's come back to this. All right. So let's see. So Teyana says Iman left their home in October. She's asking for temporary and permanent primary physical custody plus joint legal custody and child support. She's asking for child support. Okay, she's probably making more money now. Let's see here. TMZ broke the story. Teyana and Iman got hitched back in 2016, tying the knot while wearing biker jackets. All right, let me just play this audio for you all, and then we'll take it from there. We'll continue the story. I'm gonna play this audio from TMZ.
I'm not a sports scientist.
Let's see here.
Esco.com.
I think you referred to Iman as your husband. I was just, is there some news? I mean, is there something that I missed?
Let's make some news.
Oh my God. Right. Is there some news? No, that's my husband. That's my husband.
So you guys are married?
Yeah.
I did not
We
know
grabbed
that.
our biker jackets. I said, honey, let's go. Grab your biker jacket.
Man, that
We're
man
out.
ain't lit that
They're
go.
married.
She put all them videos out.
Oh, she has a beautiful smile. I didn't realize. She should smile more.
That's for real. She already married, locked down still. That's
Wait,
it.
no,
y'all
but when
gotta
did
go
this-
find y'all another one.
That's why I love my husband, though, because he been locked it down. He been
See,
locked it down.
that's a
Before
good
the
job.
When did this marriage take place, though?
Huh?
When did this marriage take place?
None of y'all business. Dang, call me back when we do the big wedding. We got you. We got you.
If you like what you just saw, videos, great stories,
All
and
right, so that was them right there. That's the 2015. They said they got married back in 2015. I guess 7 years. Oh, it's 2016. 7 years. They did 7 years. It's okay. It's nothing special about them now because we're seeing more and more of this news. But for those of you listening to me and you don't want this to be part of your stories, that's probably why you're here. Listen to me, okay? Listen to me, okay? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting watching some of this story unfold. But I'm gonna try and start covering some good stories. People that have, when I say good story, they've almost ended it, but they figured something out. I'll see if I can cover some of those stories because I think that will be extremely valuable and for what we're doing here, for what we're trying to do here, Anyway, so that's the report from TMZ. They said now she says their marriage is irretrievably broken, which seems painfully obvious based on the litany of issues between them, at least in our eyes. We reached out to Iman's camp and the rep for Teyana. So far, no word back. That's that. So, anybody, if you have something to share, please. The link is pinned to the top. But I've got a few lessons, one or two, that I want us to cover right now before I end the show today. I like this. We're gonna end the show on time. Got it. Love it. All right.